Welcome back. Now, Matric pupils who sat for NSC exams in 2022 will learn later today whether they will matriculate after an especially challenging academic year. Yesterday, the Independent Examinations Board revealed a 98.42% pass rate for private school matric pupils. The National Senior Certificate is what is used in public schools. One researcher says issues like overcrowding, blackouts, poor infrastructure and personal dynamics all affect pupils' performance. To unpack this more, I'm joined by Professor Rouaan Maarman from the University of the Western Cape. Thank you very much, Prof, for your time here on ENCA. Now, of course, this class, the class of 2022, had 3 years of difficulty. They had a grade 10 where they missed school for about 5 months, depending on how fortunate you were and what type of school you went through. What are some of the advice that you can give, especially to parents, to support this class of 2022?
So, afternoon, Matsejo, and your viewers. Yes, so the first thing is that they got through it, I think, and that shows a lot of resilience by the parents, the families, the learners, as well as their schools. But I think something that we should not lose sight of is the compounding effect of the last few years in the disruptions that these learners experienced. So firstly, it was the pandemic and there was lockdown schooling. And this lockdown schooling had major effects in terms of school attendance, firstly, as well as how learners could have been supported at home by their parents or their families, as well as the learning programs that certain schools embarked on and ensured that learners keep learning. So they really came through a tough time, and to top it all off, obviously, was the blackouts that they had to experience, electricity blackouts, which also played a role in their preparation last year.
So, Prof, what are some of the signs that, both teachers and parents should look out for? Because now teachers are dealing with the class of 2023 and they too had a difficult 4 years, possibly because load shedding is still with us this year. What are some of the signs that teachers and parents should look out for to see if your child is stressed to the point of possibly hurting themselves or something like that?
I think in cases like this, open communication, we have to ensure that we keep the communication lines open. We have to keep it welcoming and also safe for the learners. And they must know, and there should be a deliberate attempt by the schools as well as the parents and family members, caregivers, that they must come and share their experiences, their schooling experiences. What is important is that, and research also shows us this, is that learners must parents must spend face time with learners on a daily basis. Now, we know that it's very difficult in circumstances that most of our learners and families find themselves, but we don't have a choice. We have to protect them against the challenges that leads to unnecessary anxieties for them, performance anxieties and things like that. But it is important for parents to ensure that their learners do talk to them every day on their school experiences of the particular day. That is very important. That's the first one. A second one is that parents have to link up with the schools better. We need a strong nexus between the schools and the homes so that we are on the same page. We plan the school year together. We ensure that the activities do suit the availability of the parents. It is things that we just have to sit around the table with on a monthly basis or on a term basis with the parents so that we are all on the same page of the term performance, the term plans for the remaining of the school year. A third important aspect is obviously that the communication to parents is crucial. And schools and teachers have to communicate very clearly of what they see is happening at the school in terms of learner behavior and learner performance.
And Prof, looking at the basic education department itself, it said throughout many years that it has an infrastructure backlog when it comes to schools. And then, floods, for instance, in KZN exacerbated that, etc. And they have many things that they have to fix. Where do you think their money should go first? Should they look at making sure that they have services, for instance, like counseling and psychological services for pupils and teachers first before infrastructure? Or should they look at infrastructure first? What do they prioritize?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, but I think it will depend on the realities of a particular school community. But infrastructure is crucial. And the infrastructure I'm referring to are the roads. It's the transport of learners on a daily basis. The roads should be safe. The transport arrangements should be safe. It should be well communicated. Everybody should be on the same page because you need to get the learners to school first. And when you have them at school, you can obviously attend to the learning program and the school curriculum. And in terms of the other stuff, also when you have them at schools, you can there provide specialized support services to learners, where school psychologists can come in and departmental officials can come in, and there should be a tracking of how the learners are doing, especially in the first term, because the first term of schooling in a school year is crucial to set up the school year. So it should be all hands on deck, parents, learners, caregivers, and the Department of Education to have a focused approach to this.
All right, Prof, thank you very much for your time here on ENCA. Professor Rouaan Maarman from the University of the Western Cape.